It's been a year now since the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, and I've had time to gather my thoughts on this new console. I was a bit skeptical at first because it had a lackluster lineup. We haven't seen the true capabilities that this console has to offer. I've mainly used it as a Switch 1 enhancer. We finally saw the release of the highly anticipated Metroid Prime 4. Look forward to a future review. We have had a handful of Switch 2 editions, some third-party support, and new amiibo. We got 2 new Animal Crossing games with Tomodachi Life and Pokopia, one of which is a Switch 1 release, and the other being a keycard. Speaking of which, there has been some talk about keycards. Certain developers, such as the Pokemon Company, want to retain control of the licenses to their games, and would rather skimp out by having us download the full games rather than releasing their games installed on the cartridges. What I mean by that is they're taking away the plug-and-play aspect that we're accustomed to. Nintendo is releasing 64-gig cartridges that are designed specifically for larger games that cost more than their standard 32-gig counterpart. For some AAA game companies, that eats the cost of their potential profits. They still want their games ported on the console without having to dish out a few extra bucks for the expanded version of the cartridge to have their games installed. They would rather have full control of their games by essentially giving you, the consumer, an empty game cartridge that tells the Switch 2 you have permission to play their game. This happens by first inserting the empty cartridge, prompting a download from the eShop, making you wait for the download to happen before you can access the game. What I mean by this is that Nintendo made proprietary cartridges that can hold 64 gigs of memory, which is enough for most, if not all, games being ported to the Switch 2. But some game companies are taking away the plug-and-play functionality by having you download the full game before you can actually play it. Aside from inserting the cartridges in the game slot, you need then to have internet access to have the game license approved, then installed, a la PlayStation or Xbox, in order for you to play. Yes, you heard that right. Some companies do not want you to own their games. So if in the future they decide to shut down, such as Anthem or more recently Destiny 2, you can no longer play the game even though you have the keycard cartridge. So be careful when purchasing a Switch 2 game with a key symbol at the very bottom of the case. That's another thing. They hide it in plain sight by making you look for it instead of marking the actual case a different color like blue or yellow to let you know the game is not available until you download it. But the argument that they're selling is, it's better to have third-party games ported than not, right? Or at least that's the idea they're making you buy into. I, on the other hand, vote with my wallet and do not fully support the keycard movement. The Switch Online service hasn't given us much insight, forecast, or timeline for porting GameCube games. There's a few games I really want made available, such as Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Eternal Darkness, or Beautiful Joe. The Nintendo Switch 2 has given me faster loading times, fun new experiences with Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, and Metroid, as well as disappointments from certain companies like Ubisoft having Star Wars Outlaws ported only as a keycard. We have Star Fox 64 Remake that I'm hyped for because I never played it as a kid or the 3DS. Aside from that, we have Ocarina of Time coming soon. I would rather Nintendo make a Lego Zelda game in the same vein as the Skywalker Saga, or the newly released Batman Legacy, which is also a keycard, where it takes place in the Ocarina universe 3 branch timelines. The verdict? After a year from its release, I still remain with the same sentiment. Buy a Nintendo Switch 2 if you really want it, and because the price is set to go up in September due to component shortages, as well as global situations. If the price is not an issue, then you can hold off another year until the games you want to play get ported or released. It's a great Switch 1 enhancer. The performance is cool, but there hasn't been proprietary Switch 2 games that have convinced me to recommend you to purchase it yet. If you haven't done so already, Don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. And if you want to further support the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.